Alright, now here's a neat piece. If you've ever wondered where the PS2 port on a computer comes, or even what PS2 stands for, here's your answer. This is where it all originated. This is an IBM Personal System 2, or PS2. This particular one is a model 56 SLC. The type number is 8556055. And this was a random eBay find. Some would say an unwise eBay find. I was just perusing around and found this and thought, hey, I'll leave a low bid on that. Low ball offer. So, let's have a quick little look-see here. You can see on the front of the case, right there's a key lock. I do not have the keys for this, so it's a good thing that it's unlocked. At least I don't think I have the keys. There's your floppy drive. Now this is special. This is actually a 2.88 megabyte floppy drive. It's the first time I've ever seen one of those. Unfortunately, it's not particularly useful to me because I don't have any 2.88 megabyte floppies, and I don't have any other systems with a 2.88 megabyte floppy drive. The issue with these is that these are special drives, which we'll see when we get the cover off, and that they get their power from the data cable. So if it goes bad, you might have a little bit of a problem sourcing one of those. It might be expensive. This one's actually missing the little cover thing, the button. I do have it sitting around here somewhere. Here it is. You can see on it, assuming it'll focus. Which it probably will not. Yeah, there we go. It says 2.88 on it. It's a little bent. I believe that's a result of shipping damage. So, that's kind of unfortunate. You can see on the front here there's a power switch. Which is a hard power switch. You also get a hard drive LED and a power LED. We'll flip this thing around, which is not an easy task because the PS2s are entirely made out of steel, and they are well known to be some of the heaviest computers around. It's industrial strength overbuilt. Pretty typical for IBM though. Get it! Turned around. We can take a look at the back, and we can see more industrial strength here. There's your IEC power input. This power supply looks like it is not multi-voltage. It's just 120 or 110 or 115 or whatever it happens to be. There's a SCSI connector. This particular model of the 8556 has got an onboard SCSI controller and a SCSI hard drive inside, which is still there. There's VGA, which I believe that was something that the PS2 also pioneered, but I'm not positive on that. You got serial. There's a parallel port beside that. Curiously, there is no 9-pin serial port. Unless it's hiding somewhere. No, I don't see one. And there are 2 PS2 ports right there on the end. And of course, you get 3 expansion card slots, but these are not your ordinary expansion cards. Let's go ahead and pop the cover. Watch this. This is the original toolless case right here. Just pull this screw out. And there's a handle underneath that will let you pull the whole chassis right out. Isn't that nice? Of course, you might need a little bit of assistance from both your hands. And this is even strong enough that you could put it on top without any issue. In fact, I've heard it said that you could put a CRT on top of this empty case and it will still not bend, which is pretty nice. Okay, I'll come on in for a closer look here. Here's the speaker, which is a real cone. Nice to have. Need some supporting logic on the board. There's the CPU, or at least what I presume is the CPU, although I can't read any of the markings on it. This thing is not exactly the cleanest example of an IBM PS2 you'll ever find, but it's not the dirtiest either. And it does power up. I have verified that, although there is one problem that we're going to have to try and sort out right off the bat. There you can see the floppy drive, 2.88 meg, and how it gets its power from the data cable. There is no separate power connection, so you can't use a standard floppy drive in these. I believe there's actually 2 hard drives in this. No, there's only the one. It's just a taller drive than usual. I know nothing about that drive. I haven't tried pulling it out or anything. The RAM is underneath this expansion card, which we'll remove in a second, just to have a look at it. But check this out. This is not PCI, even though it kind of looks like PCI. It's not ISA, of course, and it's not EISA either. This is microchannel. Now, microchannel, or MCA for microchannel architecture, really only exists because of 2 reasons. Number one is they needed something that had more bandwidth than the industry standard architecture, or ISA. And there were a number of different options for this. You had EISA, which was compatible with ISA. That was a benefit that it had. But it wasn't really used in anything other than high-end settings with SCSI cards and things like that, and servers and such. There were the various local buses, Visa local bus, Opti local bus, all the other different local buses. Then there was microchannel. And microchannel offered 2 things. Number one was plug and play, really before there was the idea of plug and play. And it also had a 32-bit version. You might notice, I take the camera off the tripod here, these sockets right here that just look like brown PCI slots, these are regular 16-bit microchannel slots. But this down here is a 32-bit one. You can see it's got the little bit of extra connector there. The other reason for the introduction of microchannel, which is more of a rumor than anything else, is that IBM wanted more leverage over clone makers than they got with the industry standard architecture. So they developed this. They made it expensive to license, so most people didn't. And this was basically their way of trying to limit the clone market, rather than forcibly shutting down all the clone makers like Apple did. Anyway, although this was long before Apple did that. Obviously it didn't take off because they then, everybody else just implemented the Peripheral Component Interconnect, PCI. A lot of people think that stands for Personal Computer Interface, but that's not what it is. It's Peripheral Component Interconnect. In any event, everybody just used that because that was cheap to license, and microchannel just went by the wayside. PCI also has the benefit of not needing so-called adapter definition files or configuration files or boot diskettes with these files on them. It's all configurable basically by its own. It's configurable by the BIOS without any intervention. Sometimes that was good and sometimes that was bad. Have you ever heard the phrase plug and pray? Yeah, the early days of PNP were not very good. We'll just put it that way. In any event, this right here is what I believe and I've been told is a 5250 interface card. You can see it's got its very own 8088 CPU on it, which is kind of interesting. It's a 2 megahertz part. I don't know what's under that big heatsink. I think that's a heatsink. I'm not sure though. But I'm going to pull that out. Unfortunately, it is missing the screw in the back. These things have screws, little thumb screws that you use. Again, part of the toolless nature of the case. And I'm going to go ahead and pull that out, and we'll take a look at what's underneath it. Well, I would have thought for sure that that was the video chip, but I'm not so sure now. It says IBM, but I don't see any markings on it that would indicate that it's anything particularly, you know, video or anything like that. There's the RAM. I'm not sure what the RAM layout on this is. I believe it's using parity memory just because it would have to use parity memory. All three of those chips are different, which is kind of hilarious. I'm not sure what the amount of installed memory is. We'll see when we power it up what it happens to be. But I don't see a video chip on here unless it's covered up by that. It's kind of interesting, because I'm pretty sure that down there is a CPU. This would be a socket for a math coprocessor right there. There you can see the incredibly long power supply. Unfortunately, I can't see the sticker that has the ratings on it, so I don't even know who made it. I really don't want to take this out because this isn't toolless. You do, I believe, need screws to get this out. Although perhaps not. I just don't want to break anything by forcing it. Probably might have something to do with this assembly right here. And probably this as well. This little plastic thing. You can see there's a riser card on this, which actually has the battery. I probably ought to replace that battery while I'm in here. And maybe I will find a new battery and put it in this, just because it could use one. I'm pretty sure it's dead. So I'm going to put this, actually I'll replace that battery, put this thing back in the case, plug it in, and we'll power it up and see if we can get this thing to do anything interesting. Alright, and you can see I've got a keyboard out. Let's go and push power. Oh, here we go. Yep. There's a 161. That's a configuration loss. 163. You have double beeps. And that just went straight into the convenience partition. Probably should have put the floppy in. Computer may need to have the battery replaced. Well, I just replaced it. I just hit enter. I think the computer rebooted. Yeah, it did. Probably shouldn't have hit enter. I should have read that dialogue a little bit more carefully. Which I don't know if you can see. I think the camera's out of focus. Not the best camera to use. 2012C. That's a keyboard error. Why would there be a keyboard error? Now we have a 164. And a 163. Okay, we're back in the convenience partition. Automatically configure the system. Let's hit yes. It didn't do that before. So I wonder if this card has got something to do with it. Alright, automatic configuration complete. When enter is pressed, the computer restarts itself. Push enter. Okay, it wouldn't let me do that before. Yeah, we got a keyboard problem. $164. Back in the convenience partition. Let me hit no to automatic configuration. That's a memory error. Okay, time of date not set. Alright, I thought it was a keyboard error. I guess that's 301. Let's see. Backup will restore the system programs. I probably should back them up. I'm going to go to option number 4, set the configuration. The set configuration files are being loaded. Let's view the configuration. I'm kind of curious. So, yeah. It's got 6 megs of RAM installed, but only 4.6 megs are usable. Okay, that's configured correctly. There is no math coprocessor. Serial and parallel should be configured correctly. There's nothing in any of the slots. Set and view SCSI device configuration, that might be useful. We have an 80 megabyte fixed disk at ID 6, so that's cool. So, alright, it'll be interesting to see what's on that drive. I'm going to just go exit out of that. And what I want to do is set the date and time. Obviously that's not correct. It is 12/6 of 2020. Oops. Well, that wasn't what I wanted to do either. It's not 8 o'clock in the morning. It's actually 16:07, which is 4:07 if you speak actual time. There we go. So I don't need any of that. Set the startup sequence. I'm going to look at that. It should boot to the floppy drive first, should it not? No, I don't want network boot. I want the floppy drive and then the hard drive. So F10 will save that. Get out of it. And I want to go to test the computer. The tests are loading into memory. It's flashing ominously. This list shows the devices that the testing program detects as being installed in the system. Is the list correct? Well, 6016 isn't quite right. It should be 6144, but we'll say yes. We are testing the unit. Do not power off or reboot during this test. Alright. Here's where the fault should lie. The test may take up to 6 minutes. I think in the interest of preserving tape space, I'm going to stop the video here until it does something interesting. Yeah, I think we got a problem here. I think that's a different error than I was getting before as well. So at least it tells me that the RAM stick and slot 0 is bad, but I don't think there's a whole lot I can do about that for now, because I don't know if I've got any of the memory that the system needs. It needs a special type of RAM, I believe. Different speed of SIM that I don't think I've got in my possession. Testing the keyboard. Do not press any key until requested. What shape is your enter key? Enter key is in the shape of F1. Press and hold each key. Okay, looks good. You will note very carefully that there is no position for the Windows key, or this little menu key. If keys are okay, press F1 and then enter. Diskette drive may be tested with any media supported by the drive. Please insert a scratch diskette in drive A. Well, do I have an empty disk? I don't know. Sure I do. I don't know if that diskette drive works. That's kind of unsettling. Speed test running. Formatting diskette for 1.44 megs. There's an orange light on the front of the drive. Shouldn't take that long to format a 1.44 meg disk. I'm going to come back when it does something interesting. Okay, well, we've made this determination. There's 256 kilobytes of video memory. Hit enter. VGA is complete. Now it's testing the mouse port. I don't have a mouse. Is a mouse attached? No. Testing the fixed disk. I heard it click. Listen to that. Ooh, we're running a data integrity test. I'll come back when that's done. Okay. So there we are. Testing is now complete. You are leaving the testing program. If you want to start the system from a diskette, insert the diskette in the default drive, then press enter. And now it's going to reboot. Shouldn't need to do anything else, although I'm sure it's going to complain about the 201 error again. But that would explain, if I didn't mention it. Oh, we got even less memory now. But no error. Alright, we're now booting to the hard drive. Starting MS-DOS. So what's this thing running? Smart drive. And there's a blinking cursor. I didn't see what that was. I wasn't paying attention. Analyzing partition table. Oh. Diagnosing drive H. How many partitions are on this? Now it's analyzing drive C. What was this thing running? So somebody misspelled worksheets. Turned it into something unprintable, we'll put it that way. Oh, look at this. Windows 3.1 for NEC personal computers. Well, this is not an NEC. And we are running out of tape space. Program Manager. Alright. Ooh, the games is up front. 400 emulation, system edit. Looks like Norton Utilities is installed. I don't have a mouse, so this might be a little bit more difficult than usual. Let's open up the File Manager. Just have a quick look here. Looks like WordPerfect. A couple different copies of WordPerfect. 8556055 is the drive name there. But use Windows. Root back. AS400. So it looks like this probably was used to interface with some kind of a mainframe at some point. So that's kind of neat. I'm guessing that's what the purpose of the 5250 is. New. I don't know what that is. Let's get out of Windows. I'm curious what's on that H drive. Host for C, and there's nothing there. So, let's take a look at AS400. Just take a quick little peek at that. WSE. Now, I don't really see anything in here. I've been working with Linux so much, I'm so tempted to hit nano instead of edit. I wonder why I would need to do that. Anyway, I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else that I need to do on this machine. So, thank you for watching. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And this is CP666 signing off, and I hope to see you next time. Till then. But I want to close my doors. I'm just talking in the background to get on the video. So that's cool. Ouch. That was not cool. Let there be light, I guess.